Hello and welcome to the Lazy Book Club podcast, the book club for those who don't want to read or leave the house. My name is Matt Gonzalez.
My name is David Cox.
And I'm Josh Matheson.
And this week we are looking at chapter 10, which is the Lobster Quadrille.
Yeah.
Are we saying that right? That last
Quadrille,
word?
yeah.
Quadrille.
Is that a thing?
I
don't know what that is.
I know the word. It's a type of dance.
Oh,
Oh, of course, yeah.
A quadrille.
the
Isn't it?
lobster dance.
We did that at college. Like, when
Yeah.
we did.
Come on,
lots of
you're
different-
musical theatre people. You should know this.
Never had to do that.
Oh,
Never had to do a
Show
quadrille.
or this show. Nah. So they're going to do a dance with a lobster. That's
nice. So last week we left Alice off with a griffin and mock turtle
Mock turtle.
having some very punny moments.
fun. Yeah. They were very low key characters
They were.
in terms of what we gave to Josh.
Ha ha.
I have a feeling they're in this chapter as
Yeah,
well.
I've already looked at the first page and they're right there. I'm going to have to do it all again.
Amazing. Looking forward to hearing
Josh
those
has made sure
voices.
he's lubricated vocally.
Yes,
because,
exactly. But the chapter started off with her walking arm in arm with the Duchess around the croquet ground, which was a little bit predatory.
it was very creepy. Yeah.
The Duchess seemed to be proposing some kind of
Cuddle time.
romance. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Snuggle time.
And we learned that she looked like a shoe.
Yes.
That was,
Ugly.
that was
We
your
learned that she was
definition.
ugly.
Yeah, that's what
It just said she was ugly. She's ugly.
Yeah.
But yeah, leaving Alice feeling very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So she started hanging out with a psychopathic queen
Yeah.
who like
Psychopathic.
Plenty of those in London.
Yeah. Right, so we find out what this lobster dance
Yeah, let's get straight
is
in.
going on.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chapter 10.
the lobster quadrille. The mock turtle sighed deeply and drew the back of one flapper across his eyes. He looked at Alice and tried to speak, but for a minute or two, sobs choked his voice. Same as if he had a bone in his throat. Yeah, anyone who listened last week will have
It's the
hated
griffin.
that by the end, probably.
The bar is getting raised so high. And
yeah.
it's
No, it's because you're running out of ideas. You're making...
Yeah.
everything
Oh, no, there's
just
plenty of
purely
ideas.
Yeah.
comedic.
We haven't had a Scouser yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you don't want to give the wrong accent to the wrong character.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy with the ones we gave out last time because
Yeah.
the material's been right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've actually done remarkably well in every chapter, really.
Yeah.
You
Maybe it's
stumbled
the good writing. I don't know. Maybe it's like because he paints like it's a sad character, and maybe he's like good
Yeah, it's quite
at
obvious.
embodying that idea.
Yeah, maybe. Same as if he had a bone in his throat, said the griffin, and it set to work, shaking him and punching him in the back. At the last, the mock turtle recovered his voice, and with tears running down his cheeks, went on again. You may not have lived much under the sea, Madam Bow. I haven't, said Alice. And perhaps you were never even introduced to a lobster. Alice began to say, I once tasted, but checked herself hastily and said, no, never.
Oh, she's learning.
That's like the fourth time that's come up. She's
Yeah,
learned.
since admitting to the pigeon that she's eaten egg, she's obviously gone, do you know what?
And the-
People
and
don't
the
like
whole-
animals
and the whole
don't
cat
like
and
to
dog
hear that
thing.
you
Yeah.
eat animals.
Yeah.
So she's learning.
So you can have no idea what a delightful thing a lobster quadrille is. Ah.
By this point, Josh is about half a mile from the microphone,
Yeah.
just in case.
No, indeed, said Alice. What sort of dance is it? Why, said the griffin, you first form into a line along the seashore. Two lines, cried the mock turtle. Seals, turtles, and so on. Then, when you've cleared the jellyfish out of the way, that generally takes some time.
Particularly with these guys.
Yeah.
Interrupted the griffin. You advance twice. Da-da-da-da.
So they're literally giving a step-by-step, blow-by-blow of how you do this dance.
And I've got to do these two voices back and forth as they give instructions.
I wonder if we should learn the dance and do a video.
Dressed as
With our claws in the air We'll do put some Renaissance music. Actually, I don't know what kind of music would be on in 1860. Would it be like chamber string stuff I'm trying to think back to like Jane Austen kind of.
I imagine like a quartet or something.
Yeah, a quartet. We'll put some of that music on.
Baroque and roll.
Baroque and roll.
Baroque and roll quadrille. Each has a lobster as a partner. Cried the Griffin. Of course, but it matter, said the Mock Turtle. Advance twice, said to the partner. Change lobsters and retire in same order. Continued the Griffin. Then you know, bit of banana. The Mock Turtle went on. You throw the lobsters! Shouted the Griffin with a bound into the air. As far out to sea as you can.
What? So, can I...
We need to kind of unpick this because I'm.
Do you throw the other lobster out to sea as far as you can?
Everyone's partnering with a lobster,
and you're on the shore,
and then you throw it.
Maybe we won't be able to do this dance after all. Just us throwing one of yours across the room.
Let's just go to Southend and just go.
Just throw Josh in the sea.
Yeah.
Swim after them! Screamed the Griffin. Turn a somersault into the sea. Cried the Mock Turtle, capering wildly about. Change lobsters again! Yelled the Griffin. Back to the land again, and that's all. The first figure, said the Mock Turtle, suddenly dropping his voice, and the two creatures, who had been jumping about like mad things all this time, sat down again very sadly and quietly and looked at Alice. It must be a very pretty dance, said Alice.
I mean, that's one way of putting it. Just lobsters chucking each other into the ocean and doing somersaults.
Would you like to see a little of it?
Yes,
said the Mock Turtle. Very much indeed, said Alice. Come, let's try the first figure, said the Mock Turtle to the Griffin. We can do it without the lobsters. You know, we shall sing. Oh, you sing? Said the Griffin. I've forgotten the words. So they began solemnly dancing round and round Alice, every now and then treading on her toes when they passed too close, and waving their forepaws to mark the time, while the Mock Turtle sang this, very slowly and sadly. This is the whole song.
Is it a whole song?
Whole song.
How long?
Long. We seem to have ended up in some kind of Tina Turner territory, so I'll just kind of...
Proud Mary it.
Right, okay, I'll Proud Mary it, okay. Okay, give me somewhere to go. This is ridiculous. Okay, great, good. Don't judge whatever comes out of my mouth, please. Will you walk a little faster, said a whiting to a snail. There's a porpoise close behind us, and he's treading on my tail. See how eagerly the lobsters and the turtles all advance. They are waiting on the shingle. Will you come and join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, will you join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, will you, won't you join the dance? You can really have no notion how the life it will be. When they take us up and throw, I swear the Lord is out to sea. But the snail replied, too far, gave a look at dance. Said he thanked the white and kindly, but he would not join the dance. Would not, could not join the dance. Would not, could not join the dance.
Take it a shot.
Matters is before we go, a scaly friend replied. Is there another shore you know about the other side? And further off from England is nearer to France. Then turn that pale beloved snail back, come and join the dance. Will ya, won't ya, will ya, won't ya, won't ya join the dance?
Will ya,
will ya,
will ya,
will ya,
will ya,
will ya join the dance?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sing, Queen, sing.
That's been my Well, of all the poems and the songs and the nonsense, that's been my favourite by a mile.
That's been the highlight of the book so far, I think,
So,
for
yeah.
me. Definitely.
Like, to be fair, like again, there's probably been more adaptations of this than any other thing. Like that's if I read that, that's probably where I'd go with it. If I was writing a musical.
I'll not be funny when you
The 11 o'clock number.
after the first two lines, I was like, "That's the number one." If someone doesn't do an actual
hit on
remix
that.
of that,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it was about.
But
But it was
no,
not-
I, haven't got
I heard
a
about
clue.
Porpoise, but that was it.
Yeah. Won't you join the dance? That's all I needed to hear. That's the hook. Won't you join the dance? Will you, won't you join the dance? Yeah. Yeah. It's a tune.
It's an absolute
Mate, Beyonce
tune.
would sing that.
There you go. Thank you. It's a very interesting dance to watch, said Alice, feeling very glad that it was at last over. And I do so like that curious song about the whiting. Oh, as to the whiting, yeah, said the Mock Turtle. You've seen them, of course. Yes, said Alice. I've often seen them at She checked herself hastily. I think she was about to say dinner there. She talked. I think a whiting is a fish. Is a whiting a fish? Yeah. So I think she's obviously had it before, and then she stopped herself from talking about eating the fish. I don't know where din maybe, said the Mock Turtle. But if you've seen them so often, but of course you know what they're like.
I do enjoy the extra scats. I'm not gonna lie. They are highlights.
I believe so, Alice replied thoughtfully. They have their tails in their mouths, and they're all over crumbs. What? They're all over crumbs.
Breaded.
Oh, maybe she's talking about breaded whiting. She's tripped up here. Put her foot in her
Well,
mouth.
yeah, it's like a type. It's a white fish, almost like a cod.
Oh, okay.
So what? Is she talking about fish fingers?
Probably.
Did they have those in like 1860?
They definitely had like breaded cod, I think.
Yeah, they would have probably had fish and chips and fried.
It was like
yeah.
Jewish thing, I think.
Mm.
Maybe she's Jewish, don't know.
Mm.
Could be.
Shalom.
You're wrong about the crumbs, said the Mock Turtle. Crumbs would all wash off in the sea. They have their tails in their mouths, and the reason is. Here the Mock Turtle yawned and shut his eyes. Tell her about the reason and all that, he said to the Griffin. The reason is, said the Griffin, that they would go with the lobsters to the dance. So they got thrown out to sea. So they had to fall a long way. So they got their tails fast in their mouths. So they couldn't get them out again. That's all. Oh, thank you, said Alice. It's very interesting. I never knew so much about a whiting before. I could tell you more than that if you like.
She's very good at feigning interest. Isn't
Yeah,
she?
she's becoming an adult.
Yeah. She's
Alice,
like,
these skills will serve you so well in
Oh,
life.
definitely. When you're working that 9 to 5 and Janice is telling you about her cat or whatever, and it's like,
Well, no,
oh,
Alice
do
would-
tell me. Yeah, that would be Alice, to be fair.
Do you know why it's called a whiting?
Because it's white.
I never thought about it, said Alice. Why? It does the boots and shoes. The Griffin replied very solemnly. Alice was thoroughly puzzled. Does the boots and shoes? She repeated in a wondering tone. Why, what are your shoes done with? Said the Griffin. I mean, what makes them so shiny? Alice looked down at them and considered a little before she gave her answer. They're done with blacking, I suppose. Boots and shoes under the sea? The Griffin went on in a deep voice. Are done with whiting? Now you know.
As soon as they said, do you know why it's called a whiting? I was like, this is going to be
Gonna be
turned into some
horrendous
awful pun. You just knew it was coming.
But we had like one or two up until like chapter 8, and there's just been, but just entire
a barrage.
Yeah, I don't think he would have introduced, again, I don't think he'd have introduced the whiting as a concept or a type of fish, if not for the joke.
No.
It's like he's just thought of it while writing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
He doesn't want to describe a griffin with amazing, like the miracle
or
of
a
language.
Or
a mock turtle, but he'll happily...
Which isn't a thing.
Prattle on.
No one knows
nonsense.
what a mock turtle looks like.
But
it's not a thing.
Yeah.
You're so cross about this.
I was so annoyed because the photo is amazing. And I'm like, why was this not described in the book?
Yeah, like the griffin and the mock turtle would be a Victorian sideshow. It'd be like
Exactly.
the most amazing thing in Britain.
They're by far the most imaginative creatures that have existed so far in this land. Because they're the only things that's like a hybrid.
And he goes, look at
hybrid.
the picture.
And even the caterpillar got a blue caterpillar.
Yeah.
Smoking. Even the caterpillar got a description.
Sure.
We all know what a caterpillar looks like. The mock turtle, nothing. Not even a picture. Livid.
1 star.
Matt will be penning his letter to the Lewis Carroll estate complaining about this.
That would be quite a
particular
funny feature if we want to do like a bonus feature, is to read 1-star reviews of Alice in Wonderland. Because I love reading. I know this is a bit of a tangent to now, but like I love reading like 1-star reviews of stuff. Like I read
because they're normally.
I read a 1-star review of a forest once.
And what are they made of? Alice asked in a tone of great curiosity. Soles and eels, of course. The griffin replied rather impatiently. Any shrimp could have told you that. Well, if I'd been the whiting, said Alice, whose thoughts were still running on the song, I'd have said to the porpoise, come back, please. We don't want you with us. We were obliged to have him with them. The mock turtle said, no wise fish would go anywhere without a porpoise.
Oh, God.
He's doing it on purpose.
Oh, this is so upsetting.
Fish puns. They should just call this chapter
But fish puns are so obvious.
I know. I know. I wonder if, like, what would be interesting would be to find out where comedy was before this book was written. We never know. He might have invented the fish pun.
Yeah, otherwise we cut him some slack.
Do you know what I mean? It's only because we're looking at this like, what,
comedy.
200 years later or whatever it is. My maths is terrible. And looking back going, these are so overdone. But maybe at the time, he might have been the first person to come up with
He
this.
like wrote all the Christmas cracker jokes and made millions.
Exactly that.
Wouldn't it really? Said Alice in a tone of great surprise. Of course not. Said the mock turtle. Why, if a fish came to me and told me he was going on a journey, I should say, with what purpose? Don't you mean purpose? Said Alice. I mean what I say, said the mock turtle in an offended tone. And the griffin added, come, let's hear some of your adventures. Oh, there is a picture in here. No, of Alice sitting and talking to the griffin and the mock turtle.
So the person reading this book won't know what the mock turtle looks like until after a chapter and a half of hearing him talk.
Yeah. It's disappointing.
It is. Sorry, keep going.
It's a nice picture. It's a nice picture.
I will eventually get over the fact that there was no description. I promise.
I could tell you my adventures, beginning from this morning, said Alice a little timidly. But it's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then. Explain all that, said the mock turtle. No! The adventures first, said the griffin in an impatient tone. Explanations take such a dreadful time. So Alice began telling them her adventures from the time when she first saw the white rabbit. She was a little nervous about it just at first. The two creatures got so close to her, one on each side, and opened their eyes and their mouths so very wide. But she gained courage as she went on. Her listeners were perfectly quiet, till she got to the part about her repeating, "You are old, Father William," to the caterpillar.
And they were like, skip this bit.
They're like, even we find this boring.
Fast forward.
And the words all coming different. And then the Mock Turtle drew a long breath and said, "That's very curious. It's all about as curious as it can be. It all came out different." The Mock Turtle repeated thoughtfully, "I should like to hear her repeat something now. Tell her to begin." Thanks. He looked at the Griffin as if he thought it had some kind of authority over Alice. "Stand up and repeat. 'Tis the voice of the sluggard," said the Griffin. "How the creatures all do..." Wait, this is Alice. Never mind. What? So I was
She
distracted.
just started to take the mic.
I was distracted by the word sluggard because I don't know it.
Sluggard.
It's a fun word.
A lazy, sluggish person.
Well, that's I could have used that.
A sluggard.
You sluggard.
Yeah.
How the creatures order one about and make one repeat lessons, thought Alice. I might as well be at school at once. However, she got up and began to repeat it, but her head was so full of the Lobster Quadrille that she hardly knew what she was saying, and the words came very queer indeed. We're about to get a poem now.
Oh.
Just FYI. We all love a poem. "'Tis the voice of the lobster," I heard him declare. "You have baked me too brown, I must sugar my hair. As a duck with its eyelids, so he with his nose trims his belt and his buttons and turns out his toes. When the sands are all dry, he is gay as a lark and will talk in contemptuous tones of the shark. But when the tide is rising and sharks are around, his voice has a timid and tremulous sound." "That's different from what I used to say when I was a child," said the
School
Griffin.
seems really boring back then.
They just recite stuff.
Yeah.
It was all just listening
Lazy
to Pete, wasn't it?
teaching.
Yeah. "Well, I never heard it before. Ba-da-da," said the Mock Turtle.
I love that last banana was just an afterthought.
Yeah.
"But it sounds uncommon nonsense." Alice said nothing. She had sat down with her face in her hands, wondering if anything would ever happen in a natural way again. "I should like to have it explained," said the Mock Turtle. "She can't explain it," hastily said the Griffin. "Go on with the next verse." "What about his toes?" the Mock Turtle persisted. "How could he turn them out with his nose, you know?" "It's the first position in dancing," Alice said, but was dreadfully puzzled by the whole thing, so longed to change the subject. "Go on with the next verse," the Griffin repeated. "It begins, 'I passed by his garden.'" Alice did not dare to disobey, though she felt sure it would all come wrong, and she went on in a trembling voice. "I passed by his garden and marked with one eye how the owl and the panther were sharing a pie. The panther took pie crust and gravy and meat, while the owl had the dish as its share of the treat. When the pie was all finished, the owl, as a boon, was kindly permitted to pocket the spoon, while the panther received knife and fork with a growl, and concluded the banquet by, 'What is the use of repeating all that stuff?'"
Thank you.
The Mock Turtle interrupted.
Amen.
"If you don't explain it as you go on, it's by far the most confusing thing I've ever heard."
Preach.
"Yes, I think you better leave off," said the Griffin, and Alice was only too glad to do so. "Shall we try another figure of the Lobster Quadrille?" the Griffin went on. "Or would you like the Mock Turtle to sing you another song?" A song, please.
I hope it's a ballad.
There's another freaking song.
This would be Meatloaf, I'm about to do.
Yeah.
A song.
You're going to have a Mock Turtle album by the end of this chapter. This is going to be like Mock Turtle's greatest hits available now.
Just Josh in a turtleneck. Doing the thumb and forefinger.
I've already seen that headshot. He already has it.
Has it?
It's on his Twitter page.
Horrendous. A song, please, if the Mock Turtle would be so kind, Alice replied so eagerly that the Griffin said in rather an offended tone, no accounting for tastes? Sing a turtle soup, will you, old fellow? The Mock Turtle sighed deeply and began, in a voice choked with sobs, to sing this. Okay.
It's got to be a ballad.
It's got
to be a ballad.
Okay.
You're thinking Meatloaf, aren't you? Like anything for love kind of vibes.
I will do
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Beautiful soup, so rich and green, waiting there, a hot terrain. Over such dainties would not stoop. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Soup
Lovely
of
vibrato.
the evening, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup. Beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup. Who cares for fish, game, or any other dish? Who would not give all else for two? Pennyworth only of beautiful soup. Pennyworth only of beautiful soup. Beautiful soup.
Is this the chorus?
Beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup.
I'm trying to harmonise.
Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Yeah.
So number one.
We had a lighter
Another one.
out. There was a choir. The
No,
choir
I
couldn't
did.
get in there because we couldn't hear. 'Cause
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
headphones, but,
I think if you asked me to sing that again now, I wouldn't know what I just did. So.
That's all it needed. Just like some nice gospel choir
There you
ooze.
go.
in
You
the
can
background.
orchestrate
with
this,
some chimes.
Yeah. Beautiful soup. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Feeling it. Mate, that could be the new like Bisto advert.
Good.
Do you know what I mean? They would blatantly have something like that. We should write to them.
You're not wrong. Or Coventry Garden, they could do it.
Yeah.
Coventry
Beautiful
Garden.
soup.
That's the Audi knockoff.
I don't know. Yeah. There's a slip of the tongue.
Just taste of disappointment.
Taste of poverty.
Coventry Garden.
You can't say these things.
Taste of local council cuts. Oh god!
Is it actually it's Covent Garden?
It's Covent Garden soup.
Sorry.
Because they want it to
It's gotta
sound
be
posh.
yeah, that's what makes it posh and expensive.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Coventry soup.
Chorus again, cried the Griffin, and the Mock Turtle had just begun to repeat it when a cry of, "The trial's beginning!" was heard in the distance. "Come on!" cried the Griffin, and taking Alice by the hand, it hurried off without waiting for the end of the song. What trial is it?" Alice panted as she ran, but the Griffin only answered, "Come on!" and ran the faster, while more and more faintly came, carried off on the breeze that followed them, the melancholy words. "Somebody in a beautiful soup. Somebody in a beautiful soup." End of chapter.
I didn't think we'd be able to top the vocal mastery of the last chapter, but never been more wrong in my life.
Well done, Josh.
I like that chapter, though.
I think Josh made it, though.
Yeah.
Josh made
Oh,
the
yeah,
chapter.
yeah,
but the lyrics
if he
were-
wasn't
the lyrics
singing,
were there.
but the lyrics were all right. But if you hadn't sung it, if you just read it, it would have been very boring. I've got the analysis for this chapter up in Spark Notes, and there's not really a lot that anyone says about this chapter. I think it is just what it is. Do you know what I mean? That's literally it. There's nothing like, there's no hidden meanings or anything like that. If anything, all it says is that the reason why these two characters are different from everybody else is because rather than being rude or belligerent to Alice, they actually try and relate to her.
Yeah.
And they ask her about herself. Mm-hmm. And when she tells their story, they're genuinely intrigued, genuinely interested, and actually ask her questions about it. And do you know what I mean? There's a bit of give and take.
Yeah, they seem like they're not in the in crowd in Wonderland.
No,
I get that impression. Like they're shunned off.
They're
on the
almost
WhatsApp,
on the
they're
side.
on the WhatsApp group.
No,
Not in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, like I feel like the Mock Turtle being so miserable the whole way through and just being everything's just got that sort of sob underneath it.
Yeah.
Is just a way of saying that obviously shunned from society. But this is kind of where she finds her most I don't know, evenly distributed conversation with the rejects.
Yeah.
So there's maybe something to be said about that. I don't know.
Yeah, 'cause I think she likes the fact that there's other people that don't know what's going on in certain respects, or criticize the way things are.
I feel like this chapter definitely just fits the bill of this being literary nonsense.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It just being, this is just a crazy random good time between two weird mythical creatures and a little girl who stumbled across them.
Yeah.
And it is just what it is, rather than there being a hidden meaning or a moral or something behind it.
True.
I think this is just meant to be fantasy, blow your mind, kind of a bit out there and a bit crazy.
I'm glad that Spark Notes wasn't trying to come up with some
Weird.
diatribe about it.
Yeah. It wasn't
Like,
trying to sexualize a caterpillar
that is
again.
society, and the lobster is ethics, and the whiting is the left wing of society crumbling under the breadcrumbs of
humanity.
Yeah. Because there is that sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. And of course, right at the end, we get this
Yes,
a trial.
The trial. So some kind of trial is about to start. So I'm guessing someone's going to be accused of something and maybe end up with their head being chopped off.
Probably the cook for throwing a saucepan at a baby.
Yeah, it could be.
What is hilarious is that this is the first time there's been a trial. Up till now, there's just been judgment. Off with his head, off with her head, no trial.
And now
no,
they've-
this is the crimes you're being accused of, just straight to the judgment. So it is slightly odd that
The judicial system has come in.
there is
now.
apparently a judicial system in Wonderland, and someone is actually being accused of something and has the chance to defend themselves before a verdict is being passed. Right, so if you'd like to join the conversation, you can email us on thelazybookclub@gmail.com.
On Twitter, you can get us at Lazy Book Club Pod.
Or you could Instagram us at Lazy Book Club Pod.
Please do share with your friends and family about this podcast if you've been enjoying it. Word of mouth definitely does help podcasts grow. So I would challenge you to tell one person this week about our podcast. And I think there's only one way we can finish this episode. Beautiful self.